What up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? If you just came from Facebook, let me know. Go ahead and share this with somebody. That's what I want you to do. If you in here today, share it, share it, share. I see some people talking about some text. I see y'all part of the text community. I appreciate y'all. All right, let me write some things in. We got a special guest today. And first person I seen, Tiffany. Make sure you inbox me. All right, for a scholarship. I seen you just wrote text. I'm gonna give away some all night today. So make sure you inbox me, Tiffany. I just saw you. All right. I just left Facebook for sure. RedBird.com. All right. Text. That's what's up, y'all. RBA 30. Hold on, guys. I'm writing here. I can't do two things at once. We're about to go live in a minute. One of my favorite shirts. Appreciate it. I love this shirt too. Code 30 off. Okay. Guys, we're about to go in tonight. I got a special guest. All right, special guest tonight. A few special guests tonight. We're going to go in tonight. So make sure you share this. Make sure you locked in. It's going to be incredible. All right, it's going to be incredible tonight. I'm telling y'all. Y'all don't want to miss this, so stay tuned. Before I bring my guest on, I definitely want to talk about something real quick that was on my mind. I just got off of Facebook, talked about relationships, but I'm not talking about relationships right here. I want to talk about, just real quick, how your current situation is not your final destination. And I know a lot of y'all in this situation right now where you might feel like that. But I'm going to be real with you. A lot of times we talk about dreams and goals and all these things. I was doing an interview with my friend Jamie, and Jamie said, no matter where you go, you're bringing you with you. And I'm not trying to tell you don't dream. I'm not trying to tell you don't have big goals or anything like that. But what I am telling you is this. A lot of times we come up with these new destinations, right? These new dreams, these new visions. But a lot of times when we do that, we don't fix our internal selves. We have a lot of external things that we want to do, but we don't fix our internal selves. Okay. And I want to just use a quick analogy. I'm going to bring my guest on and my people on. But I remember I was climbing Camelback Mountain. I don't know if y'all ever been to Phoenix, but Camelback is a beast. And I was on tour and we had to go to Las Vegas. We drove from Las Vegas from Phoenix to Las Vegas from Phoenix. We hiked Camelback Mountain. And after we hiked it, I was soaking wet. It was in Phoenix. It was hot. And so what I did was I took a shower pill. My sports athletes know what that is. So I just wiped myself off in the bathroom because we had to go. I took off my clothes, changed my clothes. I threw my clothes in the bag, right? My sweaty clothes in my bag. And I wasn't thinking, but I threw it in my travel bag, zipped it up. We drove to Vegas, right? We get to Vegas and we get to the hotel room. And I'm like, cool, we about to go out, do what we got to do. I unzip my bag and I smell a stench out my bag. And I'm like, dang, what is that smell? And I was like, damn, I put all my wet, sweaty clothes in this bag. And not just my sweaty clothes were the smell, it got on all my other clothes. And you might say, Trent, what does that have anything to do with anything? Well, the point is that I took that same baggage, right, from Phoenix to Vegas. And even though I was in a new destination, a new place, right, when I opened that bag, guess what was still there? That same stinky shirt, shorts, and tights that stunk up the rest of my clothes. How many of us are in that same situation, right? We got all this baggage. Some of us, we got a small bag, a backpack. Some of us like Coming to America. Shout out to Coming to America coming out tonight. I'm watching it. For real. To be loved. Well, we running through the airport with a whole bunch of luggage, right? We got a lot of luggage. Some of us got a suitcase or two, right? We all got baggage. But the thing is, a lot of us, we take that baggage with us, right? We take that baggage into the new chapter in our life. We take that baggage into the new relationship. We take that baggage into the new job. We take that baggage into the new opportunity. We take that baggage into the new season. That same baggage. And what happens when we get in a new relationship, what happens when we get in a new partnership, what happens when we get to the new destination, what happens is we unpack the bags. And as soon as we unpack the bags, even though the destination has changed, that mess is still there, right? All that baggage that you didn't deal with is still there. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. It doesn't matter what destination you go to if you don't drop the unnecessary weight and remove the unnecessary baggage that shouldn't be in your life anymore. And that's what being a rare breed's all about. That's a part of it. It's about looking inside yourself and examining yourself and saying, you know what? There's some things I need to fix in here, right? It don't matter about the new goal if you ain't right in here. It don't matter about what's added to your life if you ain't subtracted the things in your life that need to be gone. So I want y'all to think about that tonight, okay? As I bring in my guests, I want to share that with y'all. So I'm about to bring in my brother. Y'all been knowing Jay for the last week, and the podcast was incredible. We've been rocking. So you probably want to share this with somebody. I promise you, find someone in your friends list, press the little arrow down here and share it. They're going to thank you because we about to get real in here tonight. What up, Tiff? What up? What up? And my people that saying text, man, I got you. What up, brother?
What up, big home? You going in already, dog.
Man, you know, bro.
I got in already.
I got to set the tone, man. You know, I got to set the tone, bro.
I like that coming to us, though. You do got me hyped, though.
Oh, bro. Man, I was about to go into the whole the whole movie. I can't wait.
I know.
I'm an advocate for you. Already know how I feel about coming to America, man.
Yeah,
how you feel?
I'm good, man. I'm excited, man. Like, man, everybody out there who's showing so much love about the podcast, you know, I've been getting just an overflow of messages. Everybody talking about the 5 identities of being a rare breed and, you know, talking about those rules of life. It's crazy. And I just want to tell everybody thank you. And we all in it together. You know, we all in it together, man. And I'm going to speak, I'm going to go off on what Trent was talking about as well, you know, about in terms of baggage and dreams. But I'm ready to talk to our special guest.
Absolutely, bro. Before we bring her on, I'm gonna have you introduce her. You see all these people saying text. They're a part of our text community, and I'm picking people. And I want you to do it too. We'll pick if you already pick one that gets a rare breed scholarship. So EVA Fitness, EVA Fitness, I see you. Inboxes, you have a scholarship for tonight. If you guys know about the Rare Breed Academy, make sure you check it out, rarebreedacademy.com. Enter code RBA30 off for $30 off on top of $100 off. And we are coaches, holistic change, man. I don't want to talk too much about that because I want to bring our special guests on. You want to bring her on first, or you want to just talk about her for a bit?
Oh man, we gotta introduce her. We gotta introduce her. I will do that. So the person we're about to bring on, she would never say it, but man, she's truly a GOAT in this industry. You know, I really believe she's an icon. She's somebody that I don't even want to just identify her as a fitness person because she's so much more than that. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mother. And I have to, you know what, I'm going to tell the story when she come on because y'all going to die laughing. I want to give it some context, but she used to cause some friction between my wife and I. I got to give context to that. But when she come on, I'm going to break it down because you going to see. But going back to her, this person has impacted many, many lives. Her being a mother now, I feel like she's taken on even a bigger responsibility by empowering women who are struggling with being a new mom and everything that comes with it. So with all that being said, Trent, go on, introduce this icon to the world. Again, Paige Hathaway.
She should be coming on in a minute. There she is.
Ooh-wee.
You're making me sound like a homewrecker.
I knew you were gonna say that. So this, I gotta give context. I knew everybody gonna think that. Everybody gonna think that, right? So I want to give people context to me. Yeah, I've been a fitness coach since I was like 24, 25 years old. That's when I got certified. Okay?
Dang, long ago.
See, she always clowning. Even when we train, she clowning. Everybody sees me like I get super intense when I coach, and Paige be like making jokes and shit, and I'm sitting there like trying to like make her like I'm doing mitts with her, and she like cracking jokes. It's funny to watch us train. But so here's the story, okay? I meet my queen, Sammy, right? who I've been married now to for over 6 years. Okay. Now I've been knowing her. She gonna kill me if she watching this too. She sleep though. She sleep. At least I think. At least I think I could be. I could end up going to bed right now, and she'd probably say, "Don't even come. Just go to the couch." She might even do that.
Someone texted her. She's watching, bro.
Okay. All right. So, of course, y'all know that sometimes training with the person that you love, like trying to be their trainer, is not always the best situation.
Yeah.
Okay. But you try. And my wife was starting to get into fitness. So naturally, I'm like, okay, like, let me help you, you know? So not only have I been doing this for the last 15 years, you know what I mean? By the time I met Sammy, you know, I'm like 8 years deep into coaching. So I'm giving her all of this advice, like all this advice. She will not listen to one thing that I say. So I could tell her something as simple as, you know what? Why don't you just try eating like a salad a day? Just start, not even a salad a day, like one salad, you know, every couple days, and just have a light dinner. And let's just start with just doing a couple squats a day. Like, I'll just give her something simple advice, right? And she will just go to Instagram and find this girl, Paige Hathaway, and every day say, hey baby, I'm gonna try this new thing that this fitness girl, Paige, like, she's so dope. Like, you know what I read? She actually said, why don't you try eating a salad like every other day? Try that and just start with a couple squats a day. You know, you should do that. Like, baby, what do you think about that? Should I try that? I'd be like, really? That's where we're at though. She's like, just look at her workouts though. Like, do you know how to do this? Like, have you done this before? Like, this whole, it's like called a lunge or something. Like, have you done that? Like, she does it. Like, it's in her workout. And I'd be like, okay. So I'd be like, you know what? I already had a vendetta against her, like, before I even met her. Like, I don't know. So I was like, man, I'm not following that girl. Like, I'm not. Stop doing that. And everyone's like, just trust me. Like, like, you can learn a lot from her, babe. Like, just try. I'd be like, oh my God. So fast forward, I'm gonna stop with that story. So fast forward, this lovely person that is on live with us, she comes to my business with her fiance, who is my close friend and is a rare breed in every sense of the word, just the same. And they were the most genuine people ever. There we go. And man, we even talked about collaborating, and we've been tight for the last couple years now. It's been a couple years since you came to P5. And now we're here, you know, So I'm going to stop going on my rant, let Paige. But I had to tell that story, though. I had to.
No, that is hilarious. But that's every in every sense of the way.
Yeah.
I say things all the time, and then all of a sudden he has that idea like an hour later. I'm like, what?
The same way she doesn't listen to any advice I give her unless it comes from someone else saying the same thing. I literally told you that last night.
That's why we need each other, bro. That's why we need each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, these male groups, like, we need it. Men can't be scared. Like, we gotta lean on each other. All right, Trent, go give her that heat, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm sitting there. I ain't saying nothing. Maria, I'm reading her. I'm just nope. I'm just chilling.
All right.
Nah,
let's start
bro,
it off, man.
I feel you with that. But what up, Paige? How you doing? Nice to finally meet you. And you know, I guess just jumping right into it. And I know there's so many people on this live that you've inspired, that look up to you, that you will inspire and impact. And I know being an influencer, you know, I just want to be straight up and just talk about this because I know being an influencer, I know what comes with it. You know, I know, at least for me, the pressure of expectations, the pressure of I wouldn't say pressure, but the hate that comes with it at times. Of course, there's a lot of support. There's a lot of things that go on, and you still have to continue to show up for yourself, show up for your community, and show up for everything else. I was in Seattle a few years back, and I shared this on this last live, and I was around a group of kids, and they asked this question that I love to ask people. and they were all addiction, like 13 years old. We're in a circle, and we did this thing called "If You Really Knew Me," and everybody went around the room, and I literally changed my life with being transparent. Everybody went around the room and talked about, if you really knew me, you knew I dealt with this or struggled with this. And so I want to ask you that question. If people really knew you, you know, I know how transparent you are anyway, but if people really knew you, it can be something funny, it can be something you struggle with, deal with, something you dealt with. Who would they know if people really knew who you were?
I like that. That's so good.
First question. There's no tiptoe.
Whoa!
I can let me go first. I can go first too. Just like, and Jay, you can go. We this is a question for us all.
All right.
You know, I always say, man, you know, I try to be as open as I can with people and transparent, you know, what I go through and what I deal with. But there's times where I deal with like imposter syndrome. I do. There's times where I deal with like, dang, do I really deserve this? There's times where I feel like, man, am I really reaching people? And there's a lot of times, even though I have a lot of confidence in myself, there's times where I doubt myself. There's times where I think I'm not enough. And I tell the world to be enough, but I think sometimes, man, am I enough? Am I this? Am I that? And all these millions of people, I still question myself with that. So I tell people, man, you know what? If you were with me every single day, that would be something that you would see in myself, me doubting myself at times. But of course, I have a process. I have teams like Jay and friends that, you know, break me out of that mindset and remind me of my greatness. So that's something that if you really knew me, you know that I deal with a lot.
Wow. I would have not have known that.
Yeah. Just, what about you, Jay?
Oh my goodness, man. I probably have to say, so man, it's funny because, you know, a lot of people know me as this mindset coach. You know, I definitely push mental toughness, self-discipline, things of that nature. And I'm very humble that people kind of see me as that. But man, I really had trouble with like performance anxiety. Like whenever there was a big exam, whenever I used to even play sports, I would choke. Like I would choke. I mean, I remember, and I'll be very open. Like my dad is like the salt of the earth. And, you know, if there's anybody that I want to be like as a man, I idolize my father. But my father was hard. Like my father was the one who would tell me, like, without cursing on here, like, you ain't bleep. You know, I was a better son than you. You know what I mean? I was more intelligent than you. That was the way. And I'm not trying to, like, that's the way he was raised. He came at me like that. And whenever I had to perform, like, that's all I heard in my mind, you know, like, and it till this day, you know, and I'm 40 years old. I'm dead serious. I could watch a TV show with my dad, and if there's a joke on that show that's funny, like, I'll look at my father to see if he laughs before I even react. Like, that's how much his opinion means to me. So it's taken me a while. Like now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've mentally trained myself to just spar with fear, you know, all the time. Like Paige and Trent, and I'm not just, you know, they're so genuine, they're so humble. They've been in the influencer space for so long, and it's so funny because everybody's pushed me. I mean, everybody says so many kind things to me, but man, I've been more on social media the past 3 days than I probably have been on in the past 3 years. And just, you know, so like, I'm never, you know, I don't really put all that out there, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm just me, homie. So like, if you, as much as I definitely believe in mental toughness, that is what I'm about. But truth be told, man, I still could struggle with choking. You know, people see me training boxers, like boxers ask me how to be more mentally tough. I'm like, man, you go into the ring and you ready to die, and you coming to me on how to be mentally tough, you know? So own parents, you know?
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that I could say here. So it's kind of like picking and choosing, maybe like what's the most important. But I mean, through the different seasons in your life, there's different struggles or different things that come about, right? Depending on your circumstances, your situation, you know, there's ups and downs through it all. I think the thing that I struggle with the most is finding balance, especially now being a mom and balancing work, social life, a marriage, having a baby, being a mom, all the things. And I preach about balance and, having balance for nutrition and, the wellness part of your life, but also finding balance with all aspects of your life. And that's something that I struggle with. And so much so that I've kind of turned into kind of like a people pleaser in a way, because I say yes to a lot of things, and it could have a negative impact on me because I'm saying like yes, 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 because I want to like do it all and do it all for my friends and do it all for my business and do it all for being a mom and do it all for being a wife, and then it kind of like puts me on the back burner because I don't have balance with that as well. So, and then my mental state or mental health or happiness or whatever is, put on pause because I'm just saying yes to everyone and giving everyone all that I have. And then I'm not giving myself anything back, So I think balance and then, just kind of balancing even, things for myself is probably one thing. And I preach about that, and it's something I deal with on the daily. So yeah.
Nice.
Well, I appreciate both of y'all for that, man. And what's ironic in all of that, right? I think that's where our greatness is created. Paige, you preach about is because you went on that journey yourself of finding that balance. And you understand how much that has helped your life, and you share that today. Same thing. You're mentally tough because you went through that journey, that battle. And that's the thing I want to preach to people tonight and here is that sometimes we think the things that are happening in our life are, working against us, but really it could be building us. The things that are frustrating us could be the tools that we end up creating to help the world. And so I think, man, I appreciate y'all for sharing that because I think so many people in here need to hear that because there's so many people right now that's feeling like they're not enough. They're feeling inadequate because they're going through something, because they have a storm, because they can't find balance, because maybe their fathers put an expectation, because they're doubting themselves. And now they see, wait a minute, I'm human and I can actually use this pain or use this frustration and turn it into my greatness. So I want to salute you guys for that and sharing that. So yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. I think one thing too is, if you follow someone, right, and they might seem like, 'cause I didn't know that about you, Trent, and I didn't know that about y'all, and so we may seem like maybe we don't struggle that way or that we have it all figured out. And even though I do preach about finding balance and the things that I preach about, and even though I struggle with it, the thing is that what are you doing? Are you nudging me?
No.
You want to say something?
No.
The thing is that I know that I'm my best when I am balanced. You know what I mean? So even though I struggle with it, and even though I'm working on it every day, I know that I'm my best when I am balanced and feel balanced. And so even though we all struggle with it, I just know that when I am balancing and I'm practicing that, I'm at my best. I'm my best self for me. I'm my best self for Presley. I'm my best self for him, my work, all of that.
What's something that you do to kind of help you stay balanced? Like, what do you do to kind of hit reset?
Well, first and foremost, I like to be very organized. So for me, it's kind of like being organized throughout my day, being organized with work, being organized, being more like on a schedule, and kind of sticking to that throughout the day. I feel that because I, run my own business and I have a family and I have all these things, being on a schedule for me works. And the biggest key to, your life is just finding what works for you, because what works for me might not work for someone else. I mean, I could definitely advise like what I do, but truly it's finding what works for your life.
Yeah.
Might be creating a very like structured schedule for your day or for your business or whatever it may be. But yeah, that's what works for me, and that's what keeps me like grinding and hitting my goals every day and staying, tunnel focused and staying in my lane, is to just be more structured and being more organized. If I'm a little off, then it's a little unbalanced for me. And then it kind of can create some anxiety for me or stress. So kind of more staying focused in my lane on schedule works for me.
Creating
I love it.
Far in advance.
Yeah.
And sticking to that plan.
I love it. I always have this mentality, like this is a philosophy I try to live by, that's like similar. You just want to be organized, and it's like everything in your life should have a job. Like, so going as deep as like your credit cards, right? Like if you have credit cards, each credit card has a job to do X. Everything in my house, like if I don't use it and it's not serving its job for me, it could literally be my blender. My blender has a job to do, make this particular protein shake to get me this amount of protein and blah, 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 blah. And if you can apply that to, and this sounds, I don't want to say it sounds mean, but even your friends, right? Your friends have a job in your life where they kind of serve and add value to you in certain ways, right? Like this particular friend, whenever you're in a bad place, this is the person you could go to for advice. When it comes to, mentorship in terms of spiritual, so it's kind of like if everything in your life has a job that serves your greater purpose, I'm telling you, that one little philosophy can change the game for you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I like that analogy.
Yeah. See what you got for me.
So, the word balance, bro, it's crazy, man, because this might be a curveball, but I don't know if that's something that we can necessarily achieve. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this world is so out of balance, and I like what Paige said, like time management and, staying focused and staying on schedule. I love what you said too about everything has a job in your life. My boy Jay said this to me and it resonated. He said, when your life will always be out of balance when your priorities are not in order. And for me, similar to you guys, right? 3 kids, everything else in the world, so much weight at times. I've learned to fully be present and engage in the pockets that I'm in. So you hear me say protect my peace a lot. And that's a big part of me being balanced. So when I'm with my family, I do my best to not worry about rehab time, to not worry about rare breed, to be honest with you. When I'm right now, I do my best to be fully engaged. And I think, we can find balance in those moments where, we give our all to the situations. And what's helped me also is just really prioritizing my life by what matters. And so say for my family, and Jay, this, and you're the same way, bro. Paige is the same way. For me, I don't find time for my family. I make time for other things. And so if I'm like, do I coach Tristan's football team or do I go speak? I coach Tristan's team. And for me, that's where my fulfillment is. And that helps me find quote unquote balance. So I just believe it's being fully engaged in the moments that you're in with the people that you're around.
I love that.
Yeah. I do too.
Agree.
You want me to throw another question?
Yeah, please.
For sure.
And I'll say this, man, Trent is so real too about that. Cause I see you with, if there's somebody who inspires me as a dad, since, Tristan's 12 years old and my son is 1, Trent pours so much into that boy. Man, he is going to be a savage. Cause I see how much time you spend with him. And just when I was talking to Jason earlier, same thing with Presley. Like, man, I can't wait to see what that little girl is going to grow up to be.
Yeah, I love what you said though. And I honestly didn't fully understand that until I had kids or a kid. And now I'm like, when I'm in the moment, in the situation, I'm like, this is my time. This is what I'm doing. Not even just pertaining to her, but now I do it in, all different areas of my life. And it's wonderful, really. So I agree with you.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's very important. And I see a lot of people in the chat saying the same thing, man. It's very, very important. Question for you, Paige. So there's a lot of questions. I'm seeing a lot of people ask a lot of things. But for the person, because I'm always interested in this, right? It always intrigues me about high-level people and somebody who has built something like you built. Like, what was the two questions? The first one is, did you always feel like there was something inside of you that, I always say, the legendariness inside of you, right? Did you always feel that inside of you, whether it was like a tiny bit of it or a whole bit of it, despite maybe your ups and downs, but you always knew there was something more to your life that was to inspire people or help people? Or was it a situation that happened where you walked into what you do now?
Yeah. For me personally, it was always there. And I mean, I could even go back to my earlier days of playing sports. Yes, I played sports.
What did you play?
I played soccer. That was my jam. But even like when I was playing soccer, like I always wanted to like be the best soccer player on the field. I always wanted to not even just be the best, but be the best team player. And I wanted to, I was there like focusing and listening to my coach, and like I was just so invested, and I always wanted to be like greater, whether it be like for anything when it comes to school, when it comes to sports, like I just always wanted to do more, be more, and be fully invested in what I was doing. And then as I got older, yeah, I mean, when I created social media, I just created it to share my story and to share my journey and to share my passion, because it was a new passion that I had for fitness. And I always just wanted to help people feel the happiness that I was feeling through health and wellness, because it was changing my life. And it was doing so many things beyond the way I looked, because it was obviously changing my body, and I was getting, more fit, more tone or whatever, but it was changing my mind. It was making me more dedicated, more, just everything in my life was transforming in a positive way, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. So I just wanted to share that with everyone, because I was like, if this is what it's doing for me, it's gonna be like a domino effect to so many other people. And so, yeah, I mean, from an earlier age, I always had that, I guess, that fire, that passion, that thing inside of me to do that. Yeah. Was it for you, or I don't even know?
Yeah, somewhat. And I appreciate you sharing that. And it's so cool when you listen to your heart. And everybody on here needs to hear this. Like, if you weren't listening, Paige was talking about serving, right? She said she wanted to show people what it did for her, right? She served. And so many people go into the influencer space or whatever backwards. It's like, what can people do for me? Not what can I do for them? And I just want to say that because a servant's heart always shines and is always going to make impact. For me, yeah, I did, but I was so ignorant to my calling because I wanted to play football. So like, no matter how many times people told me like, oh, you're going to be a speaker like your dad, or when I was 5, 6 years old, 18, you're going to be this person. I'm like, that's whack. I don't want to be a speaker. Like, at what? Child, please. I don't want to be an author. I want to be a football player. And because I was so blind to what I wanted to do, I couldn't hear anything like the calling on my life. And it took me, hitting my rock bottom. It took me, losing what I thought that I needed to realize it was nothing that I needed. And then I reset and was like, man, wait a minute. Too many people told me that this was my gift, because I'm an introvert, Paige, like by nature. And as we meet, you'll probably figure it out. I'm probably going to be the quietest person in the room. I'm an introvert. So I'm like, no way I could be a speaker. But I always had that passion. And I'll tell you how I knew it was the thing. I did a speaking engagement. I was nervous, a whole bunch of kids. And on that stage in 5 minutes, as soon as I opened my mouth,
Like the
I
words.
had so much confidence in the midst of my insecurity and my fear. And I just knew it. Like even before rehab time was what it was, I knew it. Like this is what I was called to do. And yeah, that's how, I realized that this was my calling and my gift. And, sometimes we got to let go of what we want to do and grab a hold on what we're called to do. And that's hard. It's hard to do, especially when our dreams and our visions. But, I feel like God has a better plan for our life. I want to ask you this too. One more, I don't know how long you have, and I don't want to keep you
Nope.
all night, but I know you have a, family. But I want to ask you this question because I think it's very important. So many people allow the outside noise, right, to disrupt their internal peace. We live in an age on social media where everybody, right, everybody has a voice, right? Good people, ignorant people. I'm sorry I said that word, but it's true. Everybody has a voice. Anybody can come on your profile and talk about you and say this or say that. People come on this live. How do you deal with the outside noise? How do you deal with opinions? Did it take you a while to kind of like, I'm not worried about that? Or does it still bother you? How do you deal with that with such a big platform?
Well, the crazy thing about opinions or people that want to, say something is it could be a random person that you don't even know. They could have a real strong opinion, or it could be like your best friend or your mom or your sister, So just because, someone has an opinion, it could be someone that you know, it could be someone that you don't know. And I don't know, growing up, I've had to kind of deal with a lot of toxicity, I guess you could say, in my upbringing and in my life. And so I really feel sometimes that all of the things, it could be the hardship, it could be whatever it is that you've went through in your life. I do believe that a lot of it, if you allow it, can mold you and shape you and train you to learn how to overcome certain situations. And what I have done with my hardship and my, my trials and tribulations of my past is I've really figured out a way to deal with the toxicity and to make me stronger, to make my skin thicker, to not allow it to drag me down and use it as an excuse or a crutch or whatever, and maybe say those types of things are the reason why, I'm maybe not where I want to be. And so a lot of the toxicity that I've kind of went through throughout my life, I've used it for good. And so now when, there is those opinions, it doesn't bother me at all. And it, like I said, it could be an opinion of a stranger. It could be an opinion of someone that I'm truly close to, but I've just really learned how to have thick skin, and not let it affect me, because at the end of the day, like, your happiness and your desires and what you want out of your life is what matters, not the opinion of others. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
For real. For real.
So like she said, man, and it's so, Jay, I'm gonna ask you that. Let me throw it to you, man. Like, how have you dealt with the noise, bro?
Bro, I mean, I don't get it. Like, I mean, obviously I haven't really got like that type of hate. I mean, I've definitely gotten a lot of criticism. I'll tell you this. I honestly wanted to answer the question that you and Paige were talking about, like, did you always knew you felt legendary?
Yeah,
because I have to talk about that, because for me, I'll tell you this. I always had that dog in me, like, for me, like, even now, I'm very, I feel like I kind of have a reputation of being like hardworking and, being disciplined. And I pride myself on that. But I want to tell everybody here that, when it comes to actually being successful, 80% of it is just getting out of your own way. And that really was my problem. Like, my ego killed me a lot. And I'll give you this piece of advice that, usually your fear of looking like a fool and in front of other people is what really cripples your potential. And I had such an ego that I never wanted to look bad in front of people. And I'll go as far as to going this deep. I never really tried at a lot of things because I was naturally good at, at selling. I remember I took a sales job and they were like, man, this guy could sell ice to an igloo. Like he can, he got it. Like this dude's going to be our top salesman. You know what I mean? But since I was naturally good at it, I never wanted to look like I was trying really hard and not be the best. So I would only give like a 60 or 70% effort in a lot of things that I did to protect my own ego, as if, oh, if I wanted to be the best, I could be. Because you hear people say that, right? Like, if I wanted to do that, I could, But deep down, like, they're scared. Like, they're really scared. And that was me. I had that dog in me, but I feared being humiliated in front of people like, man, Pruna is not as good as we thought he was. So it's taken me a long time to get that 80% of getting in my own way out of the way. So if there's one cancerous statement, and I've wrote about this, if there's one cancerous statement that can really like destroy your future, is constantly listening to the voice that says, what will they think about me? If you can kill that thought, what will they think about me? What will they say about me? Your life will completely change. And because you can suddenly truly be your most authentic self. And until this day, at 40 years old, even when we put out Rare Breed, I've even said to myself, man, what if they say it's not that good? Like, am I really putting enough work and living this lifestyle enough to inspire people? Like, that's how much I care. And that's how much I dig deep into everything that all three of us try to put out. Like, we put it out because we believe in it that much. So I had to share that. I had to share that listening to y'all's answers.
You know what's crazy, bro, about that I want to touch on really quick, bro, is when you talked about what people think about you. And, a lot of people deal with the fear of being judged. And I always tell people, man, the first step to being unhappy is trying to please everyone else. What's the point of gaining the world's approval if that game means you lose yourself? And we always are in a place of like, regardless, right? Even with, it could be the dope Rare Breed could be, I'm going to say is the dopest thing, right? There's going to be somebody who don't like it.
Yeah.
And no matter how much perfection you can provide for somebody that's committed to misunderstanding you or judging you, they're going to judge you regardless. When you down, they're going to say, you down. When you up, they're going to say, you didn't change. So I realized that, like, I always ask myself, what am I trying to control that's out of my control? Because I know if I try to do that, I'm not going to have any type of peace in my soul. So I let it go. So I love that you shared that, bro. And I know, Paige, it's late. We've been on here for a moment. Me and Jay, we're going to still stay on here, but I want to just give the opportunity. First of all, everybody follow Paige. She's a beast. Y'all see it. I mean, you see her heart tonight, and her content and what she does is incredible. Is there anything that you want to tell people before you leave tonight?
Well, first off, we need to get a workout in.
Come on.
I'm down.
Hey, she's saying that, but me, Jason, and Trent already training together.
We're
right?
Wednesday
I
morning.
guess you with the baby, because like, come through. I'll say it right now. Everybody can watch too. Everybody can watch. You already know. I got the mitts. Let's get it.
Y'all are too dang.
Saturday.
Wow. Well, y'all are like early though. Y'all are like
Y'all tell the people, Paige, like, what would you want to tell everybody?
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for inviting me on. It's been fun. We need to do this more often, and I can't wait to meet you in person. But this was a really good chat too. I feel like I just like had like a good like therapy session.
I know.
This is great. But no, I mean, just to kind of close up that, I also just want to say, with the opinions of people and all the things that we talked about, I mean, we all would not be where we are right now if we were to listen to opinions, if we didn't like listen to our inner self, if we didn't, if we just kind of sat back and let all the things get to us. So definitely keep thriving and striving, and don't let yourself or anyone's opinion get inside of your head, because you just got to keep going. You got to keep pushing, every day.
I gotta ask this too, and I couldn't agree more with Paige. What's your definition of a rare breed, Paige?
Ooh.
You gotta tell us, like, you tell us, what's your definition of a rare breed?
Oh.
That's wifey points right there. That's wifey points. Okay.
He's like,
right there.
He runs around the house and I'm a rare breed. I'm like, oh, are you now? Turn off. I'm like, put your shit.
Yeah.
I love it though. I love it.
A lot. I work hard for this.
That's right.
I'm around the house.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Again, really soon.
For sure. Have a good night.
Bye.
All love.
What up, brother?
Man,
How
that
you
was
feel?
awesome.
We bringing some legends on here, man, this week.
Oh yeah, no doubt, bro. They don't know this roster, man. It's deep,
Man.
and it's just Thursday. They don't even know what's coming the next couple days.
Tell them, man. Let's talk about rare breed for a little bit, man. Let's just talk about, I want to ask you this question, like, why should somebody let me ask you that. I know you talked about it before, but there's some new people in here. What's a rare breed to you? What does that mean, and why should somebody in here that's on the edge say, I don't know if I need to do that. I don't know if I need a coach. I don't know if I need a program. What would you tell them too? So that's the two-fold question.
Man, well, number one, right? Like, you heard me say it on the podcast, right? Like, when you say rare breed, it sounds like some esoteric thing that you're born with, that, it's a level that it's hard to, to reach. But the truth is, a rare breed is anybody who's ready to take full ownership of their life and be ready to transform themselves into their highest selves, into their greatest selves, be their own GOAT. You know what I mean? Like, being the greatest of all time at all times, So that's what a rare breed is. And to tell people, there's a lot of people who write on here, and I've gotten so many messages on how to stay consistent. How can I stay consistent? How can I be more accountable? I need more motivation and all those different things. And I'm gonna just leave you with just this, right? Like, if you, for the next, I'm just not even gonna say 6 months, just for the next 6 weeks, if you can apply daily habits like journaling daily, training about 4 times a week, literally strategizing your days to making sure that everything you do is at the utmost priority on what matters most to your life, and just meeting 3 or 4 people and talking to them daily that really elevate you and push you. If you just did that for 6 weeks consistently, I guarantee you would already change. You already changed yourself as a human being. If you did that for 6 months straight, you'd be a completely different animal. You would walk different. You would think different. You would have a different swagger to you. You would look different. And every decision that you would make would have a different level of confidence. But there's so many people who cannot maintain that level of consistency, even with the smallest habits. That's what we want to be able to give people with rare breed. We want to give people the tools on how to be more mentally tough, how to be more physically strong, how to be more emotionally resilient. Because I'll tell you this, man, I've been around some, on the surface, very financially successful people. I've been around some very tough guys, even in the ring. But when it came to different levels of emotional stress, man, like Jay-Z said, they wouldn't crush a grape in a fruit fight. You know what I mean? Like, so what I, and I'm not taking shots at anybody, but I'm saying it's that global confidence that you can have in every pocket of your life. in your professional career, as a family man, as a leader to your family, you know, as a mother to your family, of course, physically, you know, I want to say this because obviously being a fitness person, your body is a billboard, right? And that billboard is either going to represent discipline or sloth. And I'll tell you this, when you can walk into a room and know that you owned it and you worked for everything like that, you got a different swag to everything that you say. And people can feel it. People can feel it. So for the people who are on the fence about Rare Breed, you know, we want to help you truly mind, body, and soul. I don't want to get into the mechanics of it, but very quickly, anybody who joins Rare Breed is going to get mindset lessons that are really going to challenge them and make them dig very, very deep into their lives to where they're going to unlock something that they didn't know about themselves that they know they can truly work on. And we're going to give them the courage to actually attack those fears. Number two, we are going to give you workouts, right? So you're going to have workouts at your level. It does not matter if you haven't worked out in years. It doesn't matter if you have never worked out, you know, and if you have worked out for several years, and if you're, and we're going to bring a pro fighter on in a little bit. If you're about to try to make D1 college or train at that level, this program can help you just the same. And for everybody here who struggles with just knowing how much greatness is inside of them, you know, the master himself, Trent Shelton, is always going to be there to help you be more emotionally resilient, and have the equanimity, the balance of mind to really understand what you can control in life and what you cannot control in life, and being able to separate the two and detach from what you can't control so you can live a more peaceful life in your mind and in your heart. So
Can I sign up?
Bro. And I'm going to tell you this. This is what I love. And I'm going to get a little gregarious when I say this, right? There's a phrase that I live by when it comes to creating. And it says, to create good art, you must. And when Trent and I created this program together, we looked at it as a piece of art and we lived it. We lived it. We have talked to people what they need, what they want. I've had the privilege to coach thousands of people in my fitness and mindset and habit type of niche. And I know Trent has done the same. And we really want to get to connect with people on a deeper level. So just we really poured a lot into this program. I hope you guys could feel it. So that's my spiel.
Hell yeah, we did. And if you've been following me this is my first program I put out, you know what I'm saying, in a decade. And I wanted the right program, the right person to do it with. And you guys know I don't push stuff ever. And I believe in this. Like, I know how transformational it's going to be just from even the town halls. I mean, you guys are seeing me and Jay, you know, just riff right now. Like, we don't plan nothing. So just imagine structure in a town hall where you get to also talk to us too and really dive in deep. And if you know anything about me and Jay's the same way, I believe in over and delivering. You know, like tonight, I was like, hey, we're going to be on for 30 minutes, but I already knew that we don't get off until we need to get off. So, and I just see somebody text, Honey in the Valley. I saw you just use the word text, so you're part of the text community. You win a scholarship. I feel like Oprah today. You win a scholarship today. You win a scholarship. You win a scholarship at Rare Breed Academy. So hit up Rare Breed Academy. Let me get her name again. Honey in the Valley. DM Rare Breed Academy so we can take care of you. You'll be a part of Rare Breed Academy. But you better be about that life though. All right. Don't be BSing. All right. You better be about that life. So we got a profile. Right?
Yes. I want to introduce him. I sent you his handle.
I think it's I'm on the phone that you sent it on, so I'll probably, if he can let me see if he requested.
Tell him if he listening, Joel, request Trent, give you an introduction. Let me see it. That's right. I didn't even think about that.
Comment below.
Okay, do you find him? It's Action Brooklyn.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on, let me find it. but let me introduce him real quick. I want to bring a people on if I can, and not. I just want them to share their story real quick.
I got him. Yep.
Here we go. Okay, so let me give a quick intro. Let me give a quick intro. So, man, there are certain people in your life that the minute you meet them, you kind of just feel there's this special energy and special
Can
spirit
you guys
about them.
hear me good?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome.
Man, I'm trying to hype you up, dog.
No, just making sure. Go ahead. I'll let you work.
Yeah. So, needless to say, man, this dude is truly a young king. He's about to have his first pro fight. I met him, and I could tell that he had so much depth. And for somebody who's 40 years old, me personally, whenever I meet somebody young who has just limitless potential, I think about how much potential I wasted during my 20s. And I feel like a moral obligation to kind of be that big brother and that guy to kind of let them know, like, hey, when you start making moves in your career professionally, you start thinking about somebody who you want to consider marrying. I try to kind of be that guy that they can kind of lean on in different pockets of their life. And this guy just really impressed me from top to bottom. He's a stunt man, so he's been in movies. And this is a bad dude, man. Like, I can't wait to watch his first fight. And Mr. Joel Vasquez, man, tell the people your story, brother.
Hey, man, that was too much. Just enough, maybe. I just, first off, I really want to thank you and Trent for having me on here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to get over here and just shoot the stuff with you guys. And it really means a lot to me that Jay even hit me up today, to be honest. The podcast, I was actually listening to it last night, the one between you two gentlemen, and then I was listening to it again. I gave it a good hard listen again this morning, and it was just the synchronicity of it was incredible, because I was cutting weight. I'm fighting next week, so I went through a little bit of my process, and literally, so when I'm doing that, I'm in saunas, cold plunges, all that stuff, and my phone was just away for a good amount of time. And then, so I'm saying like 3 hours possibly. And then when I got back to my phone, the first thing I saw was his text. And it was just, like I said, the synchronicity was incredible, because I was literally just washing dishes, making breakfast, listening to the podcast. And then, of course, I always, I give Jay credit whenever I can. But it was just incredible that the way it all it happened. But so yeah, just first and foremost, I really appreciate you guys for having me on, and I just wanted to get that out the way.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Well, let me tell you this. I want to ask you this question. There's a lot of
Let's
people
go.
here.
Let them rip.
Yeah. There's always everybody here. One of the most powerful identities anybody can have is knowing that they're a warrior, right? One of the reasons you being a professional fighter, it's where you go. It's what you do for a living. So I'd like you to kind of tell me, for everybody out there who needs to know that there's a warrior inside of them, what's your definition of a warrior? And kind of tell me some, get a little open in terms of some of the insecurities you've had to kind of battle on this stage, and kind of where you're at.
Absolutely. So, very good question. Just touching on the topic of warrior. So a lot of people immediately consider me a warrior, or because of combat. And then people often neglect the fact that martial arts and combat, though they're two things that are obviously intertwined, they're not the same thing. You know what I mean? So when people kind of associate warrior, they kind of associate it with the combat aspect of it. And then, not to throw no shade or whatever the case is, just like the Western culture, the way we kind of devised it was boxing, you know what I mean? Like the kickbox, we have to see the blood and see the physical representation of the combat, but you have no idea of the mental battles and the things that are mentally fatiguing and spiritually fatiguing that us being combatants we have to go through before we even get to the physical aspect of it. So for me personally, I just feel like, to answer the question a little bit more directly, I feel like a warrior is somebody who has enough faith to follow through with their strategy under immense pressure, under immense pressure. And I just feel like, and then the pressure people don't realize is that that's something that you create. You create the pressure yourself, no matter what the reality of your circumstances are. I noticed that with my training regimens and with not only just the training regimens, with the sparring, like when I take it to these guys and stuff like that, how it'll look very intense and it looks intimidating in the case is, but I can be having fun. You know what I mean? Like as physical and you know, there's one thing I always say is that there's no metaphor for combat. Combat is the metaphor for all things. When
Yeah.
someone says I'm fighting hard, I'm literally fist fighting hard. You know what I mean? And when people, it's not about that. Like it, though there is the fight, there's a physical aspect of the fight. There's so much more going on between your mental and your spiritual and your emotional that you have to really kind of like engulf yourself in and be willing to overcome the idea that you can win before you put yourself in a position to win. So to answer that question, I would say just really, really having strong faith in your strategy, in your preparation, and just in yourself under the pressure or under the ideology of pressure that you decided to create for yourself given a circumstance, you know.
I love it. T, you got anything?
Man, I'm just that definition of warrior, man. Gosh, man, I appreciate you, brother, for sharing that. So the question that I want to ask you is, you know, I always think about the audience in here, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what they may be going through and how it can be a parallel just to what you've been through to share your expertise. So one of the things that's really helped me in life is like predetermining how I'm going to respond, right? When life's blows come at me, right? So predetermining, say, okay, when this happens, or if this happens, I've already made up my mind how I'm going to respond. Previous in my life, I didn't do that. So when bad things happen, I almost like allow my emotions to respond instead of my emotional resilience. So I'm just curious. I know in the fighting world that, you know, you have a mindset made up when you go into a fight. Um, is that something that's parallel for you? Like, you know exactly how you're going to respond when, you know, you might get knocked down, you might get hit, or the game plan might change a little bit. Like, you know, okay, there's no quitting in it. There's no, you know, no failure, and I'm going to keep on pushing and progressing. Like, how does that work for you mindset wise?
So you hit the nail on the head as far as like I said before, it really comes down to just your willingness to just have the faith in your strategy and your preparation. And I feel like a lot of being a good competitor, especially when it comes to combat in general, is knowing that there's going to be variables. There are going to be things of which you haven't prepared to, and just kind of finding a way to pull those things or deal with them for a matter to speak until you can either weather the storm and get yourself to a familiar place and then say, all right, from here I got it. From here I know what to do. And just figure out how you're going to make everything kind of gravitate towards that center of yourself. But then there's also the my favorite, one of my favorite quotes from Mike Tyson is, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. You
Yeah.
know, so you kind of, being a combatant, you have to deal with those things. But just in life in general, we can make 1,000 plans for how anything's going to work, you know. And then I always tell people like there's a difference between like the person and the numbers. The numbers could say whatever you want, but there's a reason why, no matter what the odds are, the two men still get into that fight. There's a reason why, no matter what the odds are, that other man signed a contract. And I guarantee you, dude, it's a lot on the line. You know, our health, you know, our egos, our spirituality can be on the line for some of us. Just you identifying with who you are, and then you not being able to perform to a certain extent might take that away from you if you let it. And it's just being able to kind of understand that these things are reality, and like you can get knocked down and you can hit rock bottom. And just, I feel like the closer to the rock bottom you've put yourself in mentally, the easier it will be for you to overcome, but like actually do it. People say these things, and then people like want to believe that they're a savage and they're a warrior, and then but it's like, have you actually thought of yourself in your worst circumstances, not in a position where you're mentally capable of dealing with these things, But have you thought of yourself on a bad day when you know the last thing that you need to happen is such and such, and the straw that breaks the camel's back, and after the straw breaks the camel's back, now you got to walk through the desert. You know what I mean? Like, have
Yeah.
you thought about it that bad? And I could honestly say, speaking for myself, I mean, I wouldn't say I come from poverty, but I don't come from the nicest things. You know what I mean? And I just never let that stuff define me. If anything, I've always kind of tried to, even in the exercise, even in the workouts, I kind of have as much joy and fulfillment. I have to, as much as anything is taken out of me, I know that that's more depth that I'm willing to be fulfilled. You know, like the more stuff that are getting poured out of me, the more I train, the harder I train. I know that when my gas tank is filled, I just dug the gas tank a little deeper. Now we're gonna have more gas when that thing is filled. And I feel like if you just take it like literally day to day, when it comes to like just your approach to your challenges is easy that way. A lot of people just get overwhelmed with like the just getting pummeled. And it's like if you respond to the first strike every time, you're gonna get hit with those big feints. You know what I mean? And you might over respond. And so that's it. I guess it's a little bit just desensitizing yourself to the harshness that is reality, you know. And then one thing, last thing on this was I read a lot, and samurais used to in the morning get up and they used to basically meditate in front of their armor, and they weren't thinking happy thoughts. They were not thinking about winning a battle. They weren't thinking about killing people in war. They were thinking about the million different ways that they could get mutilated and murdered and killed in a fight. And then that would allow them to fight without fear because they've already lived it in their heads genuinely. They really put themselves there. They said, all right, I've experienced the worst that can happen mentally. Physically, I'll already be familiar with it. It won't be new to me. So then I'll leave you out with that one.
You can see why me and this kid connected back in the day, man.
I want to ask you
And
one
I
more
could
question.
go on and on about. I could
Can I ask
talk to him. You know, I'm gonna say this one quote because he, he pretty much epitomizes it. You know, and I'm sure you guys have heard it. Sweat more in training, bleed less in war.
Absolutely.
You know, so for you, that Spartan quote, for you to mentally take your place, mentally take yourself to a place where it can be the most darkest holes, and you can, visually find yourself rising above all those ashes. When the world really tries to blindside you, you will be ready. And just like those samurais did it back in the day. So I know we got to get to other people. Follow my man, Action BK. If there's anything you want to tell them, first off, tell them where they can watch you fight, brother.
Oh, awesome. So I'll be fighting on UFC Fight Pass. So if you could just buy UFC Fight Pass, that'll be there. It's my professional debut, the first time under the brightest of lights for the most part for me. It's called Cage Fury Fighting Championship. So it's CFFC. And it'll be March 12th. That's next Friday. And I'll be over there representing Brooklyn, New York, Coney Island. That's where I'm from. Iron Rooster, Muay Thai, Bancho MMA, and just representing myself and everybody that loves me, man. That's how I feel about it.
Man.
That's it.
Go get
All
it.
love, man. Follow this man. He's a rising star, no doubt.
I appreciate you guys a lot, man. For real, I really do.
I appreciate you, brother. Go get it, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, bro. My phone is about to die.
I know.
I don't know where my charger is, bro. Dang, I might go ahead, probably like 6%.
We got to do the scholarship. Man, there's so many people I want to connect with, but if your phone's got to die, we got to do the scholarship and everything before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or do you know?
Well, I already did. Like, I've given away.
Okay.
Yeah, I given away about 2. I'll do. See, now I don't know. See, now I don't know who's in the text community because people have picked up on it. So, I'm gonna pick one more person, man, that stayed on here this long with us tonight, that rock with us. And you know what I'm gonna pick? I got somebody. I'm gonna pick Cheryl Hernandez, 35. Cheryl, he said I'm just lying. I gotta get off, man. Whatever. Cheryl, DM Rare Breed Academy. Okay, DM Rare Breed Academy, and you got the scholarship tonight, bro. As we wrap up, any last words that you want to say, man? Obviously, $30 off for everybody else. Just enter the code below Rare Breed Academy, RBA 30 off for $30 off. And it's already $100 off, if I'm not mistaken, right, bro? So That's 130 off
Yeah.
top. And we'd love to coach you. But
If there's one thing I want to say, go ahead.
no, just say
If
party
there's
word.
one thing I want to say, I hope this resonates in his heart, especially with the topics that you were saying earlier. Dreams don't have deadlines. You know, remember that. Like, we always want to kind of live on somebody else's timeline, especially with what society tells us. If there's something that you really want in life, especially if you want to reinvent yourself, there's no deadline for it. You know what I mean? You need to start right now. But you do need to recognize your baseline and own where you are at this moment, at this very second. So with all that being said, I feel like Rare Breed is a way to do that. You know, there you go. For you to hit that reset and really just transform yourself into a person that you didn't even know existed, you know, and unleashing that greatness that the world needs. Trent and I got something special. I want to say this because, you know, we forget all the time. We are doing a lot of special things for this first set of Rare Breeds. So I'm telling you this, as much as Trent and I love to connect with everybody, we are going to cap it pretty soon. You know, like, we are only going to take so many people. So I highly encourage people to get in when they can, especially with these offers. And we just hope you're part of the family. So start right now, put in that discount code, you know, right from the minute. If you haven't done it right now, I highly encourage you, because every time Trent and I do these lives, we get a swarm of people. So we want to connect with you. We want to bring you on here. And you heard Trent, he's going to be calling some people from time to time, and you might find me right next to him. So you're going to see.
Yes, sir. But I appreciate it, brother. And, you know, my last words is, dang, I don't even want to bring it to y'all like this, but how long you just going to talk about it, man? How long you going to pray about it? How long you going to hope about it? And when you going to start doing something about it? And not necessarily just telling you for Rare Breed Academy, but I'm just talking about for your life in general. It has to come a point where enough is really enough. Like, it has to come a point you really get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm not just talking about relationships. I'm talking about for your life. Because if you keep accepting the same stuff, you're going to keep getting the same results. It's facts. To be different, right, you got to try different things, right? To reach new levels of your life, you got to implement new habits. And there's no better people in the world. I don't never even say things like this, but I'm saying it tonight. There's no better people in the world than to do that with us two, man, because I know how much we care. I know how much we show up. And I know how much we truly help transform lives. So that's all I got to say, man. It all starts with you. Thank you, brother. Such a beautiful night with Paige, with Joel, everybody on this live that rock with us. Some people have been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. We appreciate you. Salute you. Shout out to everybody who's won their scholarships tonight. I think it was 4 people. And who knows, man? We might be live pretty soon. All right? Let's get it.